Let's begin by listening to Dillon Delvo, second generation Pinoy.
Hi, I am a son of a manong, and that wasn't something that was always the easiest thing in the world to be. I know I don't just speak for myself today because there's actually a whole large population in Stockton of other sons and daughters, just like me, who had dads that were a part of the manong generation and decided to have us at the age of 60 or 70. Thanks. Now, at first mention of this huge age disparity between my father and myself, one might think, wow, that's really some longevity. and with that thought, there may be a tinge of another thought like, that's one dirty old man. I mean, what can you say about it? How could you explain to your teacher or your friends in the first grade that the old man over there isn't your grandpa, but he's your dad? It was easier to just get dropped off a block or two away from the bus stop than to explain the whole situation. And our manong dads, they didn't make it easier on us as well. My father, when I was young, came up to me and told me, "Ding," that's my house name. I can't believe I just told you that. But he said, "Ding, I am old. I might die soon. And when I die, you'll be the man of the house." And I was like, but I'm only 6 years old. So from that day on, I prepared for my dad's death. I'd walk home from school and would be absolutely terrified, thinking I'd find my dad dead. If my dad would be asleep, I'd wait just a little, just so I could see his chest rise up and down before leaving the room. Fortunately, my dad didn't pass away until 18 years later at the age of 87. But for one of my other friends, it was different. Her dad had promised her at a young age to be there for her no matter what. He even said that he would be there to give her away at her wedding. Unfortunately, he died when she was in middle school. And those early years for her were tough. He had broken a promise to her. She was angry, and she felt betrayed for a long, long time. What audacity for these men to even attempt at creating a family at such a late age. What were they thinking? Well, much of this sentiment was captured in our need to be dropped off a block away, and in the occasional lie that said, yeah, that is my grandpa over there. It wouldn't be until college at San Francisco State in my Asian American Studies classes, that I would learn about the fact that once upon a time, my father was a young man. He actually was. And that at the age of 18 in 1929, he decided to leave his home in the Philippines in the hope of a better life. That he would step upon a ship bound for America and not know for sure if he'd ever see his family again. That he would find very limited options in employment and would become a field worker for the rest of his life. That the university was a difficult thing for him to get into with only the wages of a field worker. That Stockton would be the place he considered home because of the Filipino multitudes here, and businesses and culture. That this place was something like a little Manila. That if he ventured just north of this place, he would find signs on businesses that read absolutely no Filipinos or dogs allowed. That because of the anti-miscegenation laws, he could not marry a white person in the state of California. And that because the Philippines would be given its independence, Filipinos in America had a choice of going back to the Philippines and not come back, or to stay here and endure. That my father chose to stay here and believe that one day things could be better. That over 30 years later, in the 60s, immigration would once again open to the Filipinos. And that my father would go back to the Philippines in 1960 and fall in love with my beautiful mom right over there. And that my existence isn't the result of some horny old man. My existence has everything to do with the dream of an 18-year-old man who believed in the opportunity of America. They were much like the crazy dreams that I have and still have when I left home for college. That even at the age of 65, those dreams and hopes that he was denied for so long still lived in his heart. This generation, who we honor today, had the audacity to make a life for themselves in the midst of hatred and discrimination. It was in these streets that they could come from the field to be sharply dressed, ready to party and live this dream that they saw in Hollywood films. They could walk these streets of Little Manila and be looked upon with respect. They weren't just field workers anymore. They were Americans. They were Filipino Americans. Today we live those dreams and hopes that my father's generation was denied. We can attend a university. We can own land. We can be big ballers and put rims and add mufflers that are really loud to our cars. So there is a reason why we are here, right here today. And that is a story we need to celebrate and share. This story is just not mine alone just because I am the direct son of a Manong. But let my relationship with my father and myself be a symbolic bridge between our generations. That for the young Filipino Americans, we can look to the past and find a connection to these Filipino Americans who were once filled with the hopes and dreams just like you. For those that arrived in America in the 60s and later, in the same way that I, as an American-born Filipino, can embrace the martyrdom of Dr. Jose Rizal and the courage of Lapu-Lapu, you can embrace the sacrifice and hope of the Manong generation. That's right. This is our story. It happened right here, in these streets, in these buildings, in our city. You see, in Stockton, we tend to take pride in the fact that we're close enough drive to other places that aren't Stockton. We've got it all wrong. The truth is the real treasure, the true El Dorado of Stockton lies in its diverse people and in their rich heritage. It's time to really share it, not superficially, with just lip service, food and dance, but with something real. Let's add our story as Filipino Americans with this historic site, with a cultural center, with a Vaughn's National Museum, and most importantly, in our school's curriculum. And let these streets and its buildings tell our story as well. If we can't do it in this place where it all happened, in the epicenter of Filipino American history, then who can? Because of the replies I get about this from so many people, both in person and on our website, they say something like this. They say, "This is something that's long overdue." Or, "I'm so glad someone finally decided to do this." This is not an original idea. People have wanted to see this happen for so long. And we cannot wait for someone else to do this for us, because pretty soon there will be no buildings to fight for. No more Manongs and Manongs to interview. Ding, I'm an old man now, and when I die, you will be the man of the house. The time is now to claim this place, to feel that your actions make a difference in our community, that you are empowered to do this. The time is now to claim the Manong and Manong generation as your own story, and to help define, not just for this community, but for America, what it really means to be a Filipino American. And from a Stockton kid who once wanted to be dropped off about a block or two away from by his Manong father, I now stand on this block here to tell you that I am the son of a Manong. And I'm not ashamed of it anymore. Thank you.